Hey, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Lost Like Mike. I'm your host, Mike Gonzalez. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for subscribing. and for all the messages at lostlikemike@gmail.com. So, man, I'll tell you what. I throw on a shirt, you know what I mean? Like I change out of my daytime, kind of Mr. Rogers it up when I get home from work. To get on. Nobody wants to see me in my work clothes to come and hang out and talk to y'all. If you're watching, if you're listening, then I'm just letting you know what's going on behind the scenes. You ever put laundry in the like it sits too long in the washer and then goes into the dryer and it has like a smell. Like my wife thinks it's some kind of myth. I don't know if it like something with her ability to smell. I don't know what it is, but she cannot smell that smell. I mean, you know, we've been married for a long time, and so she doesn't let me anywhere near her laundry, and I kind of don't really like her anywhere near mine. Something about, you know, how they're people like separate their laundry into like 10 different categories, like colors and white and like darks and lights and like delicates, and you know, you get the picture. I don't really think that that's a thing. Okay, it's probably to my detriment. It's probably why I have like shirts that shrink or whatever. It's for some reason I can't remember what the specifics are. I always get it wrong. Like when I try to help her out, I'll say like, she'll say, "Can you put the load into the washer for me?" And I'll say, "For sure," you know. And she'll say, "You know the setting," and I'll say, "Well, yeah, like quick load or whatever the thing is called," and then I'll say like warm water, and she'll yell, "No, it's got to be whatever." And I swear, I try to remember, and I always get it wrong. I don't know what it is. Somehow I find a way to get it wrong. And like for the longest, I'll say the procedure out loud, and I'm pushing buttons on my own laundry. And the other day I was saying, well, for sure it's, you know, warm water or whatever temperature I said out loud. And she said, "Have you been washing your clothes then on that setting?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, isn't that what you told me?" And she's, anyway, so I don't have any, I don't, I think maybe she helped me one time, and I told her, you know, I don't know what this is, but anyway, so I grabbed this shirt out. I like it. It has like a bottle and it has lightning in it, like you have caught lightning in a bottle. I think it's cool or whatever. But I don't know why it matters. Y'all don't see this anyway. Like I look back at episodes and it's like you just see the color of the shirt when you're actually watching the episodes, and it's like you never see this stupid design that's on the shirt in the first place. So I could just wear like the same thing every time and nobody would notice. Not to mention the majority of people that listen to this don't watch it on YouTube. And so it's like, why does this guy talk about things that we can't see in the first place, right? So, but anyway, but none of y'all can smell this. And that's, I guess, the point of today's conversation is that I got it out of my closet, and the second I took it off the hanger, and I don't know what your stance is on hanging t-shirts, but I just said that out loud, and I don't know if anybody's like, what kind of person hangs their shirts? Everybody folds them, or I don't know what your particular preference is, but I hang my t-shirts because um, I don't have anywhere to put folded clothes. So that solves that mystery. Anyway, what was I saying? So I took it off the hanger and could smell it from there. Like the stink, the funk that comes with, and I know the funk all too well. I'll never get to wear the shirt out, unless I, figure out a way to get rid of the smell. I mean, you could rewash it, of course, but I'm saying, like, I think there's like a mystery to solve because sometimes I'll get shirts from Goodwill, and no matter what way I wash them, they always have that smell. So, anyway, I just can't get it out of my head. I put it on. I said I'm short of smell-o-vision. Like it doesn't matter that it smells. I'll wear it for the show, and then I'll throw it into the hamper or whatever in a fit of rage. But anyway, I hope everybody's doing all right. I got it's called a turkey trot. Ever since my little girl was, I can remember, I've been going to her elementary school every year. I don't get to go to all her events. I try, for many years I got to go to like a Christmas party or like a Valentine's Day party or like different things, but consistently I always get to go to her performances at night. Like when I get off of work, she has like a one every year that I go to. She's only going to get to do that until she's like in the 5th grade. So I'll go to that every time. But the one thing that I've gotten to do every single year without exception has been the turkey trot, which is basically every year her class meets up and they put on these little hats, like turkey hats or whatever. And we basically go out onto this track and we walk and run or jog or any variation of there above and in a circle around this track. And every time we come around, they punch a hole in like this square piece of paper that's hooked up to some string around their necks. And they, tally up how many they do. So I've gone ever since they started, since she was, I guess it was in kindergarten, maybe. I don't know if it was in pre-K as well, but I've just been doing it for many years. And and it's silly because I don't train, right? Like I used to be in cross country back in high school. But I didn't keep it up, obviously. But in years past, I've tried to like sort of get ready for it. But I'm mainly there. And so here's the thing. Some parents, okay, like if we were going to rate it, we'd say like majority of the parents stand on the sidelines, right? And just watch their kids walk and run it, okay? Fewer parents every year do it. Like as the older they get, the fewer parents participate. But some of the parents, are like way obviously physically fit, and they'll just run it, like jog it with the kid like the whole time. But for some freak reason, and I don't know, I cannot tell you why, I am able to jog, for like a ridiculous amount. My so it's not a regulation track, okay? I'm not saying it's like super small, but anyway, but my, the stepometer or like the watch or whatever tells me that it comes out to over 2 miles that I jog, um, walk and jog, but mainly jog with my daughter. Because she gets like, okay, now I should preface it by saying part of the reason why I do it is because I'm trying to coach my daughter. See, she has hip dysplasia. And so, because of that, it has caused, like, she has pain in her legs, um, because of compensating for um, for like some atrophy that she had, and that she battles with, and like that she battled, um, and so they're for different reasons associated with it. Like if she pushes herself too hard, then she has like wicked pain at the end of the night. So part of it is me telling her, "Hey, listen, I know your friends are trying to make you like keep going. Like there's no shame in like taking it easy." But I guess maybe she has the same bug that I do, that sort of adrenaline push. For some reason, when we're out there, I'm like running with her side by side. And occasionally I'll say, look, whenever you want to tap out, or whenever you just want to walk it, there's no shame. We got this. I'll back you up. If you run out of juice and you need me to carry you, I don't care. I'll do it. You know what I mean? But I'm mainly monitoring that. That's why I'm like running, walking, and matching her whatever she's doing, because I don't want her to feel like just the peer pressure of having to keep going. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of pressure from her friends to do it. Okay. Um, but for whatever reason, they treat those parents that are a little bit fit different. Okay. So in years past, the boys in her class will assume that I'm like physically fit, and they'll challenge me to races in the middle of it, like, you know, and it's like I want to tell them, like, yo, like, it's not what you think. Like, I'm not, like, you know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, I want to, like, my daughter to be proud of me and stuff. So I'll, like, race these little boys, and I have no business. I'm sure, like, by now, they're going to, like, make it very difficult to, if they see me tomorrow, or, I'm sorry, whenever this turkey trot that's coming up happens. But anyway, so there's a bit of dread on my part, because I tried to talk to my daughter about it. She's getting older. I'm gonna do it until she tells me, "Daddy, I don't want you to do it anymore," which she said that she wants me to go. So I'm gonna do it. But like I've tried to like shake off the cobwebs. I've been trying to like move a little bit, and yeah. So obviously I've been talking about getting in shape in the first place, but another aspect of it is that I typically, for a couple weeks after I do this turkey trot, I push my knees too hard, my legs too hard. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, you don't train and all of a sudden you do like a 5K or something, and then you're like trash for like a month. It's pretty much what happens. And I kind of want to avoid that because I'm on the upward. I'm like doing better and better every day. And I don't want to like trash my progress by like wiping out like my knees swelling up to two big balls of like uselessness. So I'm thinking about already like the recovery and like not, blowing it or whatever. So on this board I have, where I typically write the ideas for the show, or like what I'm going to talk about with everybody. I've been trying to like have this thing about motivation, right? Say for like 2 weeks, okay, or like at least a week. I've been talking about starting like I found on these TikTok things, or like these video clips on these YouTube shorts, or like whatever. There are these calisthenic ideas, like how to get in shape, right? Like how to kickstart your weight loss, or like exercise routines, right? And part of it was like doing these separate exercises. And like way back in the day, I used to do, and it was very successful. It was a very successful program for me. Was the P90 series, P90X, that whole thing. But the reason I bring that up is because basically what it was these short bursts of aerobic workouts where they would tell you, okay, do leg lifts for a certain duration of time, do forward punches, or like forward kicks, or squats, whatever, these different little exercises, but doing them for 30 seconds, or if you're doing a certain amount of reps, and then but like stacking them. So you would do like these different exercises in a row, right? So I mean, I'm going to throw out the number 10 because I thought that was a nice round number for me to do. And so my point is, I would get it in my head that if I just wrote down the 10 exercises that I chose to do, right? Which, am I looking at the wrong side? Where's my viewing hole? I'm gonna say it's on this side. We're gonna switch. So if I'm looking at the wrong side, it doesn't matter. But so if I'm not making eye contact, if you were looking at this video, I apologize. I don't know where the spot is anymore. But anyway, if I just wrote the 10 exercises on the board, then I would get in the habit of doing them. And I was going to I'm doing them in increments of if it's a step, or a fixed routine, like knee kicks, right? Like knee lifts, right? I would say do 10 in a row, right, left, 10, each leg, right? And then switch to the next. And then you get done with all 10 exercises, and then start again and do just 10 reps. It adds up really quick, you know what I mean? But I had psychologically convinced myself that I just had to write them on the board and I would start. Like I was having a hard time. So I would I couldn't motivate myself to write them on the board. So I would get up in the morning and I'd be really tired, and I'd be like, and I would like do like a couple of knee lifts, or like butt kicks, or like these different random exercises, and then I'd be like, well, I better get to work or whatever, jump in the shower, right? But it was so strange. Maybe 2 days ago, I got up and I had, I saw some random video that said, it was like, don't think about it. Don't do anything. Just say out loud, start, do something right now. Get up, do it right now. And I applied it not to the exercise, but to writing it on the board. So I stood in front of my dry erase board, and I said, well, for sure. We talked about, like knee raises. So let's write that on the board. And I wrote it. And I said, all right, I do 10 of these. And then what would I do next? And there were these other exercises. So I ended up getting 10 exercises on the board and completing the 10 exercises. And I'm telling you, I was already like, I broke a sweat. And I was like, I did another rep, a round of these 10 exercises. It was like breaking through an invisible barrier. For whatever reason, I felt like I wasn't. And after I finished, I was able to do some weightlifting, and it motivated me to go further. But it was a whole process of like, I don't want to do it. I don't want, as if I start, then I'm gonna have to keep going or whatever the thing is. And so part of doing this, I wrote on the board. I said, okay, I want you to give me reasons, like no BS. I want you to say, why do you want to do this? Give me, some motivations, give me 5. And, like what do I hear or see, or what have I interacted with that has made me like say, I want to do it, right? And I look at it now and I see it like as, they're very general, right? Like you could say like health being right. If I said, well, health is the reason I'm doing this because I want to be healthy, right? What is that really, what is that? You're going to eat like garbage, but you're going to exercise. You know what I mean? So what are we really doing here? Like, is it, if it's about health, and that's kind of a package deal, we're going to have to figure out some things. And I thought about like, okay, well, and I wrote very general ones like vanity and, I can't even see it from here. Okay, like, people that have passed away, or people that are injured and have a disability that they would love to be doing. They would love an able body to be able to do these exercises like I'm doing it for them. People that wanted to get started but never did. And just for my own sake, like I say I want to do something and then I need to follow up and do it. If not, then I have to acknowledge that I'm not a man of my convictions. I'm not somebody who follows through with the things they say they're going to do, right? If I decide that I want to, exercise, and then I don't know what's wrong with me, I can't exercise, then, maybe I've got, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have to face that head on, like, and take ownership of that. But, I've had conversations with my mom. She's, she says she stopped counting at 80, but she's like 83. She's like in her 80s. And she still finds it difficult to motivate herself to eat right and to get moving around. And a part of it is made it harder for her, right? At this stage of life to like, it's affected her health, not being, not starting, and not doing the things that need to be done. But she'll talk about wanting to get started or wanting to, and I'm like, I hear that and I feel like, I don't feel discouraged, but I feel like I have to shake that concept. Like I have to get it out of my head. I'm not going to talk about wanting to get started or wanting to do these things as an abstract of like, well, there's going to be a right time, or there's going to be perfect, all the planets will align, and we'll get motivated, that there'll be a definitive before and after, right? I'll take photographs and weigh myself, and you know what, maybe that's what it's going to take, but you know that's just going to be part of the journey. I'm not going to, like, okay, well, I have to write everything on the board first and then I'll start, or I'm going to, it's frustrating, but it is something that I have, that is more of a reason to do than just a general statement on a board, you know, wanting to do it for health. I think sometimes, like when I quit smoking, it's one of the hardest things that it is the hardest thing that I've ever done, because it took me decades to do it, and it was not easy, and still to this day it haunts me, like as something that I could you know undo with just a whim, you know. But I'm saying one of the motivating factors that helped with that was a comedian, Bill Burr, um, and his whole thing was shaming. And I've talked about this briefly, occasionally on this podcast, about looking at yourself in the mirror and like really being brutally honest if there's aspects of your physical self that you're not happy with. And there's a danger, because a lot of times people have body dysmorphia and they don't really see what they're seeing. You know what I mean? You may not know what I mean. What I mean is to say that some people see a perfectly see, that's a bad way of saying it. A perfectly healthy body, a perfectly healthy person, and they'll see only flaws. Like, I need bigger biceps. I need, more defined shoulder muscles. I need a six pack abs. I need, a smaller waistline. I'm shaped like a pear instead of whatever. I don't look like a movie star. I don't look like what I see on TV. There's all different connotations, or all different incarnations of body dysmorphia, but I guess, so I'm not saying to like look at yourself in the mirror and just trash yourself. That's not what I'm saying. But you have to motivate yourself in whatever way that you can be motivated. So sometimes I look at myself in the mirror and I say, "Gee, I'm so disgusted with you. I'm just, look at you. You're roly-poly fatty. Like, I think you're just gross. Like, you need to, like, not have that cupcake, or not, whatever the case is." You know what I mean? For some people, that's the difference between leading an unhealthy lifestyle versus, you know, making significant changes in their life in a positive way. I don't know. But I'm saying, as a disclaimer, just, it's to thine self be true. Learn, know yourself. Like, know what you're, be careful with that. I would never do that with my daughter or my wife, right? But like, you know, I think I even said one time, I said, because my daughter is very picky. She's a picky eater, and she eats like a bird. I'm not used to a little girl. My son is all of 6'2", and he's my height, my build, and he, like, will eat everything, right? And I would always be like, "You're a growing young man, you eat you eat whatever." Never like, and he's had his own battles the way that I battle, with a sedentary lifestyle. He got into video games and different things, but he looks great. He's killing it now. He's always out in the field working, doing whatever, landscaping and hunting and whatever. He's out there doing it, right? Figuring it out the way he has to. But with my daughter, she eats like a bird. And so one time I was like, "Oh, baby, you're so skinny. You need to eat." And my wife whacks me on the arm, says, "Come here, I gotta tell you something," and then whacks me again, tells me, not to give her a complex and whatever. And it's like, I guess, dude, I'm just, that's not the position that I'm coming from. I worry, you know what I mean? You can't survive on a, grilled cheese sandwich, half a grilled cheese sandwich and like a bag of potato chips or like a small little mini pizza or whatever. Like you need to, I don't know. What do I know? But you know what I'm saying? Like she's a growing young girl, and she's growing, like she's getting tall. She's gonna be like really tall. And so she's like stretching, and like, so kids that grow really fast, with a high metabolism, they're super skinny. I don't know. But yeah, I don't want to give her a complex. But I think I'm about to like really get aggressive with like the amount of protein and vegetables and like her nutrition. You know what I mean? Like even if she wants to eat like a bird, it's gonna be a bird that eats her vegetables. Anyway. But whatever motivates you. So like at one point I thought, like my son was, he has this girlfriend, and she's very accepting of how he looks and, that kind of thing. And, he had to motivate himself to get in shape and different things. But from the beginning, she was like, yeah, I love him for what's inside and all that kind of good stuff. And I'm like, that's very emotionally mature of you, but can you not? You know what I mean? Like my wife's the same way, where she's just like, I'll tell her, man, like I've gained some weight or whatever. You know what I mean? And she's like, you look great. That's like bullshit. Like, come on, man. Like, I don't know. And then all of her all of her celebrity boyfriends are like all these really super fit dudes. It's like, who you fooling? You ain't fooling nobody. Like, oh, you look great. Yeah, really? Then why is all your celebrity boyfriends are like the guy from Sons of Anarchy or whatever? You know what I mean? Anyway, so I've had a couple of ex-girlfriends that were not superficial, but they were completely, I guess maybe they recognized me at a fitter time, where I was a little bit, more. And so one of the motivations that I kind of hear in my mind sometimes is, imagine running into somebody that used to know you back when you were physically fit. You know what I mean? And just purely as a motivational thing, you know what I mean? There's no expectation or false understanding that you're going to see anybody that you used to know, but it's not like they can't see you like on some video or something that you posted over 100 episodes of, where you look like a chunky butt, and like they can put two and two together that's you, right? I mean, who are we kidding? But like, okay, I'll give you an example. This is off the subject, but I remember one time I ran into a girl that I used to go out with, and I ran into her and I was pretty inebriated. I was very, very tipsy. And kind of like that unattractive tipsy where I was like, slurring a little bit and like, this was like many, 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 many years ago, like way long time ago. But it was still the dynamic was still that I was running into somebody that, that never had seen that side of me. They saw a very charming, sort of sweet young man that was trying to win them over. And then, the next time they see me, it's like, hey, how did you do it? Pretty good to see you. Boom, falling on the ground, whatever. And it was like, it was a wake up nightmare that sort of lets you know that, this could happen to you, whatever. And so sometimes when I'm thinking about it, I think to myself, well, maybe I should, as a motivator, think about running into people that, and there used to be people that I knew over the years that were very judgmental and would rag on you for every little, thing that you had. For the longest time, when I was at my fittest, I'll put it this way, when I was at my fittest, a lot of that motivation was an FU motivation. Like I was doing it for all the naysayers and the people that were like, yeah, you're going to do it. Right. And it was like, I would picture them and think about them. And it was it came from a very dark place of like, I'll show you kind of thing. And that's not healthy and it's not sustainable. I think you can use it as initial motivation, but I think at one point or another you have to celebrate yourself. Like I remember the human mind is such a delicate thing. It's a very strong that it's sort of a paradox because you're capable of virtually anything that you set your mind to. And in that sense, your mind is very powerful and it's a very strong instrument of like that you can make it help you do anything you want to do. But it's also fragile in the sense that you can, like I remember I lost all this weight and then I ran into this one person and they said, yeah, great. You look like you've lost a lot of weight. Now all you have to do is lift some weights because you look really weak. And all the confidence, all of the good stuff that I had in that moment just went away. I don't know why. I mean, looking back, it was like, I should have just been like, yeah, I guess you're right. I'll just hit those weights. I'll just have to hit the weights harder. I don't know what, would say, but I was deflated and then, used it as an excuse to just throw in the towel and, whatever. But I think, and there's been different instances like that throughout my time, not just like that, but in similar respects where like I feel like I've allowed outside influence to sort of, whether it was like, I remember there was A&Rs from record labels, management companies, and them saying, man, we'd really like to, if you would just lose like 30 pounds and you would be assignable, a performer, stuff like that, ridiculous in retrospect. It was silly. But there's been lots of different things. The whole thing is to figure out a way to listen to yourself and shut off the rest of the world. If you are the positive influence in your own life, I think that's a viable option. You just have to tune into to those, to the positive, and phase out the rest. Anyway, just jumped down that rabbit hole and swam in it for like that whole episode. I apologize. Anyway, I've had a good time talking to y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Thank you for dropping by. Please continue to send me messages at lostlikemike@gmail.com. And I'll figure out this whole where to look situation. And we'll see you next time. All right, take care of yourself.